Hi, this is Ian again, and we're going to look at the final part of profiling a scanner, which is assigning and converting the image in Photoshop. Okay, so I've made my raw scan, I've adjusted it in Photoshop to make it extended range, I've made a profile of that, and I'm now scanning my images in exactly the same settings as I used to make the profile. That's the important part. Okay, so I'll open my image. I'll select this one here. Just wait for that to load. Here it comes, and I've got a warning set to come up inside Photoshop to make sure that Photoshop doesn't assign or convert my image in any odd way that I don't want it to. So I'm saying here, leave the image as is, don't colour manage. So that's now going to open that in Photoshop. Here's my image here. I'm just going to increase that to make it full screen. Let's just close that. The first thing I'm going to do is go Edit, Assign a Profile. I'm going to select from here my profiles. As you can see, I've got loads on my computer, but the one that I'm going to choose is the one that I made, which is the Imicon 949 plus 12. And as you can see in my folder here, I've got a plus 15, plus 18, and different variations which I can use on different images. So there's my plus 12, which I'm going to do, and you saw my image change there. Can you see how Photoshop has changed the colours of my image? So I've done that, okay. And now next I'm going to go Edit, Convert to Profile, and I'm choosing Chrome Space 100 from Joseph Holmes. That's because that's the proprietary colour space that I use and recommend. It's far better than Pro Photo. I don't get any of the posterization inside it, and definitely far larger and far better than Adobe 98. You might prefer something different, but I use Joseph Holmes. I find it prints better than any other colour space. You can also hear I'm using the Adobe Ace engine. I'm using Perceptual, which is squeezing the image into the colour space rather than chopping off anything that doesn't fit. I'm using black point compensation. So I'll click OK, and there's my image now converted to the relevant colour space. Just let that go. Okay, now the final stage that I need to do with my image is to set the highlight and shadow. And I'm going to do that by opening the Levels dialog. I'm going to hold down the Alt key, and you'll see that the cancel changes to reset. I'm going to drag these endpoints in here, and you can see that Photoshop is now showing me the clipping. And I'm just going to keep going until I'm not clipping any more information. Too right. There we go. And I'm just going to, just because I know Photoshop and the way that it works, I'm just going to increase that by just one more level. And I know for absolute certain that's now not clipped any highlight information. And now I'm going to do the shadows, which I'm going to reel in until I find them. There we are, there's some shadow information. So it looks like that bottom left hand corner is the place that I need to go. Now, what you need to understand is to ensure that you really don't clip any pixels in the shadow, you need to actually get right in there and have a look. So I'm going to go into actual pixels here, scroll right down the bottom of my image. This is where having a really good monitor helps. Obviously I'm using a laptop screen here, but I'll often use an ISO monitor. And I'm just going to reel this out until I don't clip any more pixels. There we go, that's a level of 6 that I'm using there. There we go, and if I go back to a full screen view, you can see that my image has now gained that snap that I wanted to. Now this is the area where I often compare the image to a light box. We were talking back in how you can sort of set the mid-tone using the histogram in flex colour to a figure of 2.8 or leaving it off, so on and so forth. And what I might just do is I might just give the mid-tone just a little bit of a flick like that, just by half a point in Photoshop. I just find Photoshop has far more control, and comparing the image to the light box, I sometimes might just need that just to open it up fractionally. And that's my highlight and shadow set. So that is taking your scanner from profiling it all the way through to image creation. That's the way I do it. My Imicon gives me no noise in the shadows. You might find that again, if you're using a flatbed scanner, this method might give you more noise than you were used to seeing. And it is just literally the performance of the scanner which is illustrating that. Okay, thanks for viewing this video. The next one you'll probably see is one about cleaning scans and the quickest and best way of doing that. Okay, thank you.